Pandas wants violence for this one.
I'll just pick Street Fighter 2 over Street Fighter 5 only because Street Fighter 2 is pretty much the godfather of fighting games in general. So we gotta show respect out of that. It would be crazy to say Street Fighter 5 is better than 2, you know?
Street Fighter 5. Why? Because I actually don't like Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, but we'll get into that.
All right, what's up, guys? We're back with another one here. Now, you might have heard the phrase, right? The newer, the better, but that might not always be the case when it comes to fighting games.
The boomers, they love the older version. They always say the older version is better.
Well, let me tell you guys something, man. Some of you guys who just started, you guys don't even know what a good fighting game is. This is your first fighting game, so you guys only know what you guys had for your first time experience, okay?
Panda has tasked us. They're going to give us 2 games, and we're going to see which one of the 2 is better. Think of it as like a fighting game, but, you know, with opinions.
So yeah, like always, before we get into it, if you guys haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We got all sorts of fun content coming out. I feel like this one's going to start a war. All right, so first up there, starting with a barn burner. Why do I have to do this? This is hard.
Ooh, they already started really spicy on this one. Whew. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say what I got to say about this.
Let's talk purely about the gameplay. If we're talking just straight gameplay, I'm going to say, ooh, this is hard. I'm going to go with Rev 2. I'm going to go with Rev 2.
I think Exert is definitely way better. way better.
Like, the ceiling of what you can do in the game is super, super high.
If I had to think about any negative point about Rev 2, I feel like it's very hard to get into. Rev 2 is very hard to get into if you're, like, you know, a person that started very late into the game.
Every character is super, super unique. The music is great. I'll say that. The music in Rev is definitely better than Strive. That's a given right there. I can't. Come on. Don't make me do this, Panda. This is brutal.
Biggest reason, I think, is the Gatling change from Exert to Strive is really whack. I feel like Exert had so much more freedom in terms of combo, you know, new routes, stuff like that. I mean, you know, Strive has its combos, yeah, right, but it's nothing crazy. Like, there's nothing too amazing or too unique. You know, for example, Faust compared to Exert, Faust is just night and day, man. It really is.
I really don't like this video, Panda. It hurts my feelings.
To be honest with you, Strive feels like an unfinished game. And I don't think it's like unfinished in a bad way, but more of unfinished on the competitive side. But I do think in 5 years or so, this game could be better than this game. I think the first step of being better than Rev 2 is to nerf that damage, please. Oh my god.
But yeah, I'll say Rev for now. That's the key. Come back in 5 years.
All right, the next game. Ooh, man, bangers left and right.
Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Third Strike players, I have a lot of Third Strike friends, and like I'm cool with them. We allies, but I think after today's video, we are not going to be allies, and that's okay.
Am I gonna get trouble for saying Street Fighter 4? I have to say 3, right? Third Strike is the game you say to pretend that you're an OG.
I'm gonna keep it a stack. I know you guys are gonna hate me, but I played Third Strike like once in my life. Once.
You know, I gotta give it to Third Strike because I would say Third Strike right now, it's so fun. I love Third Strike. The fact that we can play Third Strike on Fightcade and it has perfect connection. I could play people around the world. I played somebody from Japan who Daigo parried me, and my man Daigo parried me from Japan. You understand that?
Yeah, you know, parry is cool and all, but like, yeah.
Third Strike is godlike. It's one of the prettiest games. Best soundtrack and everything right there. But damn, watching that game in action, I'm like, who would play this? That game is broken. Street Fighter 4 was the savior of the FGC. It pulled us out of the quote-unquote dark ages, right?
This is actually like the first fighting game I actually tried to get decent at. I usually say it was Persona, but that's because with Persona 4 Arena, I like took it to the next level. Like that game, I truly dropped everything else and I just started playing only Persona 4 Arena. Endless rivalries, endless evil moments. You know, there's just a whole bunch of memories when it comes to Street Fighter 4 because it was truly one of the biggest games at that time.
If Ultra Street Fighter 4 did last for another year, everyone would be playing Elena, and it would have killed the game. It would have legit like left like the worst ending in people's mouths. So Elena.
You guys might not know this, but I played Street Fighter 4, man. I had a nasty Sagat and Vanilla, and then Abel later on. I was kind of nice at that. Capcom vs SNK Millennium Fight 2000 on CBS 2. Now that's the easy one. Come on, that's easy. CVS 2 for free, right?
Easily, Capcom vs. SK2 is way better than Capcom vs. SK1. The music, True Love Making, like, I mean, come on now. Everyone knows that's probably one of the greatest songs, greatest OSTs of all time when it comes to fighting games. So easily, CVS 2 takes over CVS 1.
Justin actually said if I could play him first to 100, and he said I wouldn't even get a single game, and that's crazy.
I will give credit to one thing that CVS 1 does better than 2. That's the stage intros. If you've never seen the stage intros in CVS 1, they're really, really cool.
Another problem with CVS 1 is that actually jump-ins were actually broken. So jump-in light punches actually beat Wounded Anti-Tires for some reason. I do not know why.
When it comes to 2, positives, game has like a million characters, bro. Like, as a kid, I was going crazy just playing all these different characters. I mean, as a kid, I used to always think that playing or have a fighting game that has a lot of characters is way better than having less. Obviously, as I'm older, I would rather them focus on making 14, 15 really, really unique characters than having a million.
The different grooves and everything, all the different play styles, the characters, everything. It's one of the greatest games of all time. And now you can play with rollback.
So I gotta run the set against Justin on this game. But this game, I actually think is the most sickest game.
Tekken 3 versus Tekken Tag.
I never played either of these games, so I don't know.
Easily for me, Tekken Tag 1. I personally never played Tekken 3, so I'm automatically going to have to say Tekken Tag 1.
I like Tekken Tag Tournament because of the character varieties and all of my characters are in the game. So I think that's being a bias overall. But I hear Tekken 3 is pretty good. But I'm going to go for Tekken Tag Tournament.
Tekken Tag 1, fantastic. 2v2 system, has tag combos. I thought that was awesome.
Tekken 3 had Force, which was like, that was like an adventure game that was super fun. You beat up the random goons. Adventure game had volleyball and had Gon, the little lizard that could fart. Tekken 3, baby, let's go. Melty Blood actors again, and Melty Blood Type Lumina. Ooh, this is
Personally, I'm just gonna go with Melty Blood, the first one, just because I feel like people truly love that game.
This is not, yeah, this is for free. Of course, old Melty is 1,000 times better than Type Lumina. But as I said before, with Strive, Type Lumina is still new. It's still new. Hopefully, it will develop over time.
I kind of despise this new Melty Blood because of how horrible Shield is. I feel like the new Melty Blood, in my opinion, is unplayable with that mechanic. I truly, truly hate it.
The old A was so crazy. Huge cast, one of the best soundtracks in all FGC. The stages are godlike, so many different colors and everything. The moons, there's so much going on in that game.
I don't know what it is with new fighting games, but companies are just like so scared of like letting people do sick shit.
Marvel's Capcom 2 versus Ultimate Marvel's Capcom 3. Now, this is tough.
This is a good one.
This is probably the hardest one. Probably going to be the hardest one in the list.
This is so tough because I want Evil for both of these titles. That's probably a flex, but it's true.
MVC 2 was one of the games that really, really got me in the FGC. It was the first game I went to tournaments for. This was like the coolest game back in the day in the arcades. Like CVS 2 was out, yeah, like Third Strike was out, Alpha 3 was out, but Marvel's Capcom 2 was king. That's just how it was.
I'm gonna probably choose Marvel's Capcom 2 over Marvel's Capcom 3. The high level gameplay of it is so fun to watch, so fun to play. You get so hype off of it.
Honestly, I'm gonna just pick 3 because I'm more of a zoomer. I love Marvel's Capcom 2, but I'm gonna keep it a stack. I could not buy it. At one point, this game was like $90 and I was like 12. There was no way I could convince my mom to get this game for me, man.
The one thing I will say, don't get me wrong, 3 is godlike as well. I remember when 3 first came out, people were a bit hesitant because it was such a departure from 2. The graphics and everything, even the button layouts were different. So I remember at the very, very beginning, some people were like, oh man, this stinks. But that quickly changed. People quickly found out 3 was godlike, especially once Ultimate came out and we got rid of Dark Phoenix and all that stuff.
As a spectator and just like a fan, I'll say this game is better. Only because of the variety of characters that you can bring to the table.
I think the game is hype as X Factor was a little hated at first. I think they come to just accept it, and
But the one thing I hate most about Mortal Kombat Crime 3 is X Factor. X Factor pisses me off. Oh my god, it pisses me off. So I feel like people that make X Factor level 3 comebacks, you guys are frauds.
Bro, come on.
Oh, this is an easy one. Cross tag battle is boo-boo.
What is this, Pam? What is this, a joke? You put this in for me, right?
This is not even a competition, bro. What kind of shit is this, bro? Who the
I like BlazBlue Central Fiction a lot. I actually started playing it recently. I play S, so I'm going to say BlazBlue Central Fiction just because it's my new flavor of the month. I also got new rollback netcode. I think the characters are so much more diverse. Like, you know, there's just so much, like, technical stuff involved.
You remember when Anakin went to the Jedi Temple and they was like, Mr. Skywalker, do you want to play some GranBlue? And he just pulled out the lightsaber and that said BlazBlue Central Fiction. And it was over, bro.
BlazBlue cross tag battle shouldn't have BlazBlue in the name. That's all I'll say.
Let me tell you why this is like Omega free. It's because this is not a BlazBlue game.
You can't even walk in the game. It dashes all the time for you. Like, it's just ugly. It's an ugly game.
I don't know what it is. Party game? I have no idea. But it's not a BlazBlue game. I'll tell you that. It's a fighting game, team-based, wacky, cross combos and stuff. You can play as Ruby, but it's not a BlazBlue game. BlazBlue is amazing. Something like 40-plus characters. The drive system, every single character plays so unique. They have all these mechanics that don't exist in any other game. There's a science cat that can teleport and put out gravitrons right there. There's a little witch girl. She's a 3,000-year-old vampire, but she can control the wind and fly all around. Things like that. Oh my goodness. I can't believe they asked that question.
Soulcalibur 2 versus Soulcalibur 6.
Now that's easy for me.
Bro, Link is in this game, dog. Free.
So I'm going to go with 2 because Soulcalibur 2 has Link. You had the GameCube version, and that's amazing. If you had the Xbox version, you had Spawn. Like, come on now. It's tight.
Man, I don't know. I would say I'm going to choose Soulcalibur 2 because the times when I played in the arcades, it was so fun. I love JWong. That was my boo. That was my character.
Now I love the old Soulcalibur games. I love Soul Edge or Soul Blade, whatever it was called in America. I forget. I think the big divide right here is like the left was pre-netcode, pre-netplay, and the right was post-netplay. So after like netplay came out, that's all people really care about. That's all FGC really cares about now. It's like netplay, right? We want rollback. We need rollback. We need good netplay. But back in the day, there wasn't even a thought. It didn't even exist. So the games used to focus a lot on single-player content. So the old Soulcalibur games, they had the best single-player content out of everything, pretty much.
Soulcalibur has always been that game that always looked fly as fuck, and I just never played it. And I think the next time I ever get a chance to play this game, I'm just going to commit to it.
Injustice, Gods Among Us versus Mortal Kombat. Why can't you guys choose Mortal Kombat 10 or Mortal Kombat 9 or something?
You know what? No, this is easy, actually.
Like, I would rather, I love Mortal Kombat 10, Mortal Kombat 9. I think both of these games are really not my cup of tea. They're both kind of boring.
When I look at this game, I think Injustice plus Frames Among Us. Because when Batman was alive and kicking, let me tell you, man, the word positive was like, it like excelled. Like, the definition excelled. Like, it actually evolved.
What I heard from Injustice is that the game is really zony. And I absolutely hate zoners. So even though I zone in DBZ now, but that's a different story.
I have 0 gameplay hours in either of these games, but I watched the entire Injustice 1 and Injustice 2 story mode on YouTube. I never played either of the games. I have no interest in either of them, but the story mode's godlike. Injustice has like an actual full-blown like comic book story. Robin's killing people left and right. I was hooked, man. I was hooked.
Mortal Kombat 11, I played the story. I love Mortal Kombat in general, even though I don't play the games competitively. Just, the game is a full package, It has the crypt, story mode that is actually worth, like, entertaining, and, like, all the fatalities are crazy. Actual single-player content.
Some of these Mortal Kombat 11 fatalities, I get the shivers. I get the shivers seeing some of these. I'm getting old, man. I'm scared. Now, what's next? Oh my god. Pandas wants violence for this one.
I'll just pick Street Fighter 2 over Street Fighter 5 only because Street Fighter 2 is pretty much the godfather of fighting games in general. So we gotta show respect out of that. It would be crazy to say Street Fighter 5 is better than 2,
Street Fighter 5. Why? Because I actually don't like Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, but we'll get into that.
Not talking about gameplay at all. Just what Super Turbo did for like just fighting games in general, but like also like the music, man. The classics. I'm just going with the music. The classic Super Turbo tracks, the stages,
characters most memorable of all. You know, Guile, Chun-Li. It goes on. Like every character's extremely memorable. They're all amazing characters.
Although they only had one Chun-Li costume, didn't they? Hold on, wait a second.
Street Fighter 5 also has made so many characters so diverse. Like, you know, they added so many. They actually also added in many new characters that never really were in a Street Fighter before, like Manat, Falk, Ed, Luke. Like all these characters are just like amazingly like super cool.
But Street Fighter 5 now has to be one of the most well-balanced games that I've seen in a long time. I see every character doing some work. Hell, even Fong won a tournament.
Gameplay-wise, I think watching high-level Super Turbo now, I'm like, damn, this game is crazy. Crazy broken.
Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo is very iconic, but I think this game is actually a fraudulent fighting game. What I mean about a fraudulent fighting game, like there's no other game that has like these like dumbass 8-2, 9-1, 10-0 matchups and everything like that. And I never had the match throw in my life so much in a game compared to ST. You know, I won majors for this game. Not proud of it because I just picked Old Sagai and I just cheese people out.
That is all, fellas. I hope you guys enjoyed that video.
Your fighting games are about your own personal experience, right? Maybe on paper, this game is better than this game because of all these like points. You know, it came out later, it has net plays, all this great stuff, but it's like your personal experience with the game, the memories you have, the fondness of that time of your life. You might like the old Kusoge better.
I am the fighting game master in terms of it, so let me know in the comments below. What did you guys think? Like, what was right about mine? What was wrong?
And come at me sideways, bro, because I already know you guys are going to say all. I know all the Third Strike players are coming through.
What do you think? What do you disagree with? What was really wrong? Does anybody like BB Tag over BlazBlue? If you think Type Luma is better than old Melty, leave a comment. I want to see this. I want to see this. I want to see these people. Do they exist? I don't know. But like always, hit that subscribe button, all that good stuff, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.